The only Dog's Way Home I'm concerned about is Mad Dog's way back to the Pentagon where he belongs. We miss you, dude. A Dog's Way Home is based on a novel by W. Bruce Cameron, the author of A Dog's Purpose, and it has the same screenwriter as the movie A Dog's Purpose. Besides that, however, the movie has no connection to A Dog's Purpose. There is a sequel to A Dog's Purpose coming, but this is not it. A Dog's Way Home is about a pit bull named Bella, voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard. She's a stray dog who gets adopted by a young man named Lucas. But pit bull ownership is forbidden in the city of Denver, so when Bella is discovered to be living with Lucas, she gets sent away to live with someone else in New Mexico. But she manages to escape from that new house and sets out on a journey through the woods and mountains, encountering other humans and wild animals, determined to find her way back to her owner. Now, 2 months ago, I experienced the passing of the dog that I grew up with. She was an amazing dog. Never could have asked for a better one. I had had her in my life since I was 6 years old. Losing her was really rough. So I went into A Dog's Way Home thinking that it was going to wring more emotions out of me than it would have otherwise, but actually it didn't. This is a movie that's just too bland and ineffective to strike chords with even someone like me. To start with a positive, Bryce Dallas Howard is well cast as the voice of Bella. She sounds very gentle and also very pathetic, which is quite fitting for a puppy. The dog herself, on the other hand, I'm not exaggerating when I say that everything is a game to this dog. She spends the entire first half hour of a movie calling every little mundane thing a game. Her dialogue is just, I love playing the game Go for a Walk. Oh, now we're playing Go to Work? I love that game too. It's really not all that cute, it's just repetitive. Even A Dog's Purpose had some clever lines for the dog. This movie doesn't at all. There are also too many plot points that we've seen numerous times in other movies with similar storylines about lost animals. A dog being taken to a new home only to escape and wander through the wilderness in search of their first owner, that's essentially Homeward Bound. There's a scene where the dog unsuccessfully chases a bunny for breakfast, Homeward Bound. And there's a section of the movie where on Bella's journey she takes care of a mountain lion cub. That's something straight out of one of the Benji movies. There are even fewer surprises due to the fact that the trailers for this movie showed Bella returning home to Lucas. Isn't it great to know the trailer editors for Castaway are still getting work? And throughout Bella's journey to Denver, you never have a sense of the progress she's making. When she enters a town in Colorado, text will appear on screen letting you know the name of the town, but I don't know where all these towns are in relation to Denver. For all I know, she could be passing Denver by and be headed for Utah. You'd probably have to live in Colorado and be familiar with all the cities south of Denver in order to know how much closer she is. They couldn't have just added this many miles from Denver next to each city. The movie's not totally without its moments. There's a sequence where a homeless man takes Bella in as his companion, and she stays with him until he lies down and dies. It didn't have me crying, but it gave me a hint of the feels. Occasionally, there's a pretty shot of the wilderness, like one of the riverside at night, but even that gets ruined a bit when it pans over to an obviously CGI elk. Nearly all of the wild animals are CG'd, and they're about as well generated as the werewolves in the Twilight Saga. There are also instances where you can tell that the vocal sounds a dog is making were added in post-production and aren't actually coming from the animal actor. In the end, I wasn't expecting much, but I was still hoping for a bit more. This movie's generic, lacking in competence, and even dog lovers will rarely ever find it endearing. If you really want to see it, there's no harm, but there are simply too many overly familiar plot elements for me to recommend it. Let me also just say, this movie has one of the worst uses of the Wilhelm scream. It's when this fisherman falls off his feet into the creek, and as he's just sitting there in the shallow water, he lets out the scream. It's woefully out of place. I'm going to give A Dog's Way Home a 35%. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful. Like if you liked, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.